Wednesday, 8th of May. We're on the bus and we're heading to Mallorca, right? So Manchester Airport, Manchester Scooter Collective on tour. On the bus we've got Wes so far, front, we've got John.
Hi guys.
We've got Steve.
Hi
and
guys.
we're meeting.
Hi guys.
We're meeting quite a few others at the airport. I think there's 18 or 19 going all together. It's going to be fun. Guys, join us on this tour of Mallorca. It's going to be amazing. We'll see you at the airport. Not the best of starts at security. We had the trainer police pulling Wes, checking the Umbros. Wes there looking a bit disgruntled that his Umbros have been taken away. Okay, so left to right we've got Big Steve, we've got Tom talking to Gazlau in the light blue polo, we've got Wes in the tracky top, we've got Alan aka Yorkie with his back to us, he's talking to Marty in the glasses. At the back there having a brew is Martin. You've got Tony talking to Wes, most likely about scooter engines. And panning round here, who else have we got? We've got Simon and Dave enjoying a full English. We've got Paul just to the side here in the cream top, ordering his breakfast. We've got Gareth at the back there holding his pint. We've got Nelly sat down next to him. The back of the head there that you can see, which is probably the best view, is John. Probably at the toilet are Mike, Noel and Alan. Alan did an amazing job of organising the trip, organised every little detail, and there he is there in the blue top, sat behind Paul, who's blending in on the plane, and eventually we arrive at our first hotel in Mallorca. So 10th floor, pool and bar area, as you can see, a quick pan around, and really nice to unwind after the travelling, even though it's only a 2-hour flight. You can see the view is amazing, overlooking the harbour, and all the hotels and apartments that we stayed in were really good for us. You know, good accommodation, nice and clean. So just chilling out, all excited for the week ahead on the scoots, and as you can see, just having a chat, having a chinwag and a pint. Eventually we did get in the pool, but I'll spare you that. Now here's the first night, having a sing-along. In fact, this was only late afternoon, so it did get even messier a little bit later on, but I'll spare you that as well. The morning after, we're on the coach, organised by Al, and we're heading over to Loco Wheels to pick up the scooters. So we're heading from Arenal over towards Palma city centre, and here we've got Loco Wheels. This is where we're hiring the scoots for the week, and yeah, the anticipation, the excitement as we head down the ramp here to pick up our scoots. There's Nelly giving us a wave. Everyone's very excited to just get out there and ride. No Royal Alloys, but they did have classic Lammies and Scamadis, which is almost the same as a Royal Alloy. So, me being an automatic rider, I picked a Scamadi. A lot of the lads picked the classic Lambrettas because that's what they used to ride in back at home. And you can see there on the wall just some of the scooter clubs, a lot of which are from the northwest of England, with their banners. We did take a banner for our group, but we forgot to take it on the day. All right. But we did give them some stickers. And then this is when we've all been allocated our scoots, and first little problem was two of the Lammies wouldn't start. So Thomas from Loco Wheels had to do a little bit of work on them to get them going, and eventually they fired up, and happy days. This was my trusty steed for the week, the grey Scamadi, but as you will see later in the video, it did not last very long at all. Keep tuned. So on the right there in the blue t-shirt, you see just there is Daniel from Loco Wheels. So very good service. They escorted us out of the city centre to make sure, number one, that we didn't get lost, probably to make sure we're riding on the right side of the road as well. And just really good escorting us out of the city to the kind of city limits, if you like, and then they left us on our own. So we're just heading down now past the harbour there in Palma Bay, and this is where the guys from Loco Wheels dropped us off. So they left us here, kind of at the edge of the city area, and we're heading out kind of into the suburban area now. So off we go on our own with no escort, and it wasn't long before we hit our next issue, which was Wes. Pulled up at the lights, and then it just conked out, wouldn't start. So we pull over, and it wasn't long before the panels came off, and we're having a mooch, and we find fuel is being pumped out of the top of the carburetor. Apparently there was a blockage in the carburetor, and we had to ring Loco Wheels. They came out and replaced the scoot within about 30-40 minutes, so it wasn't too bad at all. In the meantime, we pulled up down the front here by the seafront, which was a nice place to break down, and then we're off in the midday sun.
Pretty similar. So far, yeah. Feels pretty much the same.
So you can hear Alan there. He's just asking, how does the Schemati compare to the Royal Alloy back home? And I'm going to talk about that a little more in the video, and I'll tell you the differences that I felt with the two scoots. So stay tuned for that. So we're heading off now. We're on our way to Calidore, and hopefully trouble-free riding from here on in. So now we've made it back over to the other side of the bay, and we're coming back through Arenal, which is where we stayed the night before. And we're just heading along the front here. Really, really nice little ride this, and nice kind of smooth road, no potholes here, and just beautiful just to be riding along in the sun. Eventually we make our way back out onto the open roads. So the riding on day one and day two, it wasn't really, I mean, it was beautiful, it was absolutely stunning, but it wasn't spectacular. The riding towards the end of the trip, which you'll see in part 2 of the video, I'm going to do part 1 and part 2. Part 2 of the video, we're going through mountains, we're going along the coast, it's absolutely stunning. The riding on these first couple of days was, nice, smooth, open roads, beautiful to ride in the sun, beautiful scenery, but not dramatic terrain, if you like. But it did give us the opportunity to come down here, and we'll just come off this roundabout. We're heading down towards this kind of residential cul-de-sac, I suppose, but it's right on the coast, and it gave us the opportunity just to make a little line for our standard photograph where we all line up. So getting into position, and hand in the air, and what a great photo. Shame about the transit van in the background, but you can't have it all. And then we're heading off. I'm not sure if this was even a planned stop or we just got lucky. I'm not sure if Al had planned this stop for the photo, but now we're heading back up. If you look on the right here, you'll see Paul crouched down taking a video, and how cool that there's no other traffic around, right? It just fell into place, and we've got this great video. Back onto the open road, and we're still heading to Calidore. This is still day one, and then if you just look to the right now, you see the sea. And a lot of the riding was like this, just nice straight roads, A roads if you like, and following the coast as best we could over towards Calidore. Lots of these nice kind of beautiful old towns, these Spanish towns, as you would expect, right, in Mallorca. But it felt great riding through these. It was like the noise of the scoots was echoing off the buildings, and I suppose it's the closest thing you get to being, in the Wild West. That's how you feel on these scoots. You're riding through these towns and villages, and everyone's got the shutters closed, and it's like you're the bandits riding into town, on a Clint Eastwood movie. That's how it feels. Absolutely superb. But some stunning little villages and towns here. Would have been nice to stop at some and maybe have a little bit of tapas and a beer, but we were on our way. We were on a mission. And great riding. Fantastic. And then back into open countryside. Look at that sky. Just absolutely stunning. Perfect. And there's no better feeling. I've said this before. No better feeling than being in a group, whether you're at the back, in the middle, at the front, and just seeing a big line of scooters either ahead of you, going into the distance, or in your rear view mirror you see the line of scoots with the headlights on. It's amazing. Going back to a lovely village here, and yeah, great ride. I would say the first day's riding was probably about 70 kilometres, so about 45 to 50 miles, something like that. But when you're riding over there in Mallorca, and the sun's beating down, it's an absolute pleasure. It doesn't feel like a chore, it just feels like an absolute pleasure. So, 50 miles feels like 20 miles, it just flies by. Coming around the edge of the water here, just absolutely beautiful. And so you see a couple of cyclists here, right? You see the family cycling along. And for the whole of the ride in Mallorca, there was a lot of cyclists on the road. And I'm not talking about families. There was some sort of Ironman competition on. You're going to see more of that later on when we get into the mountains in part 2. There was cyclists everywhere. Eventually we arrive at Calador. We're coming into Calador now. And we find the apartments. There's a view from the apartment on night 2. So this is night 2. The first full day of riding, and we had a little dip in the pool, and then a few of us wandered down to the beach in the evening, had a couple of beers, and then it got messy, guys.
Our past monsoon on the banks of the River Nile. Only half afloat, Osman gripped a toothless smile. Only just one more on the desolate shore that's brought along the River Nile. They seem to care, no, the wind in his hair. There's a definite smile. Float soft down the River Nile. Float soft down the River Nile. Woohoo!
It was all in good spirits, and the bar staff absolutely loved it as well, joining in there, as you can see. But we were pretty well behaved most of the trip. Just boys having fun. So here we are on day 3, riding from Calador to Calarajada. I think I've said that right. And now we're just leaving the apartments. The parking at the apartments was like a secure compound, so it was pretty cool. And then we're leaving here, and a good day's riding ahead. But stay tuned, guys, because today is the day when I suffered a breakdown, right? And you're going to see that coming up very shortly. So we're out on the open road, and again, right, splendid riding, like really, really nice towns, open road, a couple of dual carriageways, but brilliant ride until the breakdown, so stay tuned. Now, Al, that had planned the trip, he kind of planned several stop-offs along the way, places of interest. And this was a place right near the cliffs where we were planning to dive into the sea and have a little swim on the way. But we couldn't get close enough. It was fenced off down the dirt track. So we took the scoots up the track. We couldn't get down any further, and we decided to abandon it as a stop-off point. So we're setting off again on the road. And yeah, done a really good job, Al. Really good. Just planning places to stop off, and a lot of thought and effort had gone into it. So we do appreciate it. All the lads really, really appreciated the effort they put into it. Okay, so open countryside and beautiful weather. The whole trip, the weather was just perfect scooting weather. Absolutely amazing. Now check out this next scene here. You see these beach buggies coming past. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're beeping at us, we're beeping at them. They seem pretty popular, them, on the island, the beach buggies. I guess you can hire them, same as you hire a scooter. But we saw quite a few of them. Now, here we're coming up to the breakdown, guys. Check this out. We're coming off the roundabout onto this main road. It's not a dual carriageway, but you get the idea. It's just like an A road. And I could feel that the scooter was I was accelerating, but there was no power. It wasn't kind of in tune. So I was accelerating, nothing was happening. And I knew that something was wrong. You'll see me start to look down. Now I've left the sound on here, right, for the to give you a little bit of dramatic effect, the wind noise, and this is how it went down. You'll see everybody in a minute just start zooming past me, and I was starting to panic a little bit because I knew it wasn't right. Beeping to try and get the attention of the others. Mike cuts me up on the inside there because I was trying to pull over. Obviously, he didn't know. He probably thought I was slowing down to film, to get some footage. But thankfully, all the lads stopped. I was so pleased about that, not being abandoned at the back.
Starting losing power.
So I'm wheeling it forwards, just thinking get it off the road, off the hard shoulder, onto the pathway. And we were quite lucky, there's a little gateway where we're
Just losing power.
So just wheeling it forwards.
Yeah. But I've not overfilled it because I did it the same as I do mine. Different schematic. Is that stopped? Just cut out.
So you see Tony on the left, font of all knowledge when it comes to everything related to scooter mechanics. There's not much he doesn't know, and his idea was to try and give the scooter a shake, just to see if we could loosen any blockage in the fuel filter. So you see Al there's giving it a good shake, and you'll hear that we nearly get the scooter started after giving it a shake to try and free up any debris in the fuel line. So you can hear there the engine does start turning over. We get a little excited, but then it just conks out again, and then we could not get it started. So it was another call to Loco Wheels, and they came out fairly quickly, again about an hour. Luckily we were about a mile away from this kind of lovely marina in Porto Cristo. We popped down there, had a little bit of lunch, sat in the sun for an hour, and then I wish I'd got the ride down there because Tony gave us a backie on the back of his Lammy, and that was an experience. Sadly, I turned the camera off at that point. So the cavalry have arrived. Thomas from Loco Wheels pulls up in the van. He pulls out the replacement scooter, which is the black and red one, and that's my scoot now for the rest of the journey. And you'll notice that that is the same scoot that Wes had that had the fuel problem. So in the space of 24 hours, they'd taken it back, they'd repaired it, got it back out on the road. Okay, so we're back on the road, final leg of the journey on our replacement Scamadi, and we're heading towards this little town called Calamilor, like a little resort. And we actually pull up here at the seafront. We jumped off and went for a quick dip in the sea. It was absolutely perfect. We're prepared with our swimming trunks and our shorts and stuff. So had a little dip in the sea. Great fun. Now, the video is close to the end. This is the end of part one, right? We're coming up to the end of part one. Make sure you check out part two. Part two is the more spectacular of the videos. You're going to see the mountains, you're going to see the coast, the trip to the lighthouse, golden eagles. It was absolutely epic. Hopefully, part two will be up on YouTube in the next few days, so make sure you check it out. Also on part two, I will talk about the differences between the Scamadi and the Royal Alloy. Wasn't able to fit it on this video, but I will put that into part two, as promised. And then here we are pulling up to our accommodation for the evening. It was a hostel, but it was really, really clean. It was immaculate, and it was like as good as a travel lodge or a Premier Inn. You know, really good quality inside, but there was no pool here. That was the downside. But yeah, great ride, and great food and beer in the evening. Guys, make sure you tune into part two. It's going to be up in a couple of days. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Cheers, guys.